All right, Mark, issue 46, give us a recap.
You bet, Dan. The issue opens with panels of the Sinister Six. Mysterio, Vulture, and Kraven debate the merits of bringing back Sandman to the flock before Dr. Octopus puts the hammer down and demands they follow through, since a empty seat is an affront to all of us. Electro, with his feet up on the table, says he's got his orders loud and clear. Break into Ravencroft, fry anyone in his way, and bring Sandman home. And he's going to have fun doing it. I bet. The book flashes over to the East Village. Peter is leaving his apartment, thinking about the exchange he had with Sandman, except in this exchange, Sandman speaks proper English, in contrast to whatever language was being scripted in the prior issue, and says the Sinister Six are coming for him. Wow, could you imagine how simple storytelling could be in this context if you just say the thing you want to say instead of talking metaphorically? Peter knows. So Peter, deep in thought, bumps into Tombstone's lawyer, Michelle, and she's not very happy at all, accusing Peter of standing her up on a second date. Peter has no recollection of establishing that they might have had a second date. Michelle suggests otherwise, that he called her to ask her on a date, specifically to piss off Tombstone by dating his lawyer. Contrary to any rational thought, it sounds like Michelle was kind of turned on by Peter not seeming terribly interested in dating the lawyer of an underworld boss. And anyway, we get some awkward Peter for a few more panels. Michelle calls him a psychopath, and MJ is there in jackpot attire to rub the salt in the wounds a little more by saying, Parker's still got it. That brings the events of this issue over to Ravencroft, where Peter and MJ are superheroed up, talking about how they are trying to be okay with the fact that they're seeing other people or attempting to see other people, or MJ's with Paul, okay? We just need to remind everyone that MJ chose Paul over Peter, and whether anyone realizes it or not, it took her a long time to make that choice. MJ wonders if it's weird that she and Peter are teaming up to fight crime, and before I can answer yes, Peter says no, and the two share a distant, far-off look to set up the next transition. Now we're inside Ravencroft, and Anna, Watson, and William are sharing a lovely moment with some geraniums. Their nurse reminds them to break up their romance and sends everyone back into their cells. The other inmates are all, aw shucks, so nice to Anna. The nurse jokes about Anna running for Ravencroft mayor, and Hippo says he'd vote for her, but I have to imagine Hippo is just like Gen Z, saying he's gonna vote, and then only like 11% of them actually show up to the polls every year. Anyway, there's an electrical surge in Ravencroft, and Spider-Man and Jackpot are back on the scene. Right on cue, Electro shows up and brings a whole bunch of electricity with him. He breaks out of Spider-Man's insulated webbing, an old trick dating back to the Ditko days, and Spidey's embarrassed. But Jackpot is here to spin the slot machine and come up with some form of magical power she can't anticipate. We're over in the cell block, and Mr. Hyde is organizing a very orderly jailbreak, much to Aunt Anna's chagrin. And despite her being the conscience of everyone, they remind her that they're villains, and villains are designed in Marvel Comics to break out of super prisons, whether they're Ravencroft, the Raft, etc. It's probably the truest thing ever uttered in a comic. Meanwhile, Electro is about to send a deadly current through the mechanical arms that Jackpot created, but Spidey grabs Jackpot to protect her. As a result, they end up on top of each other, nose to nose. Ooh, baby, she's gonna leave Paul, I know it. Well, no, they need to get back to Electro, so maybe we'll put a pin in that moment. Or maybe we won't. Now, Electro is face to face with Sandman, who reminds Electro that he's no longer the artist known as Flint Marko. He's the artist formerly known as Flint Marko, aka William Baker, and I'm glad he said that because honestly, I forgot too. Electro is ready to turn Sandman into molten glass to get him to come with him, but Anna throws a deadly flower pot to protect her friend. But before Electro can deep fry Anna, Whirlwind and Hippo reappear and throw fisticuffs with Electro. Nobody hurts the mayor of Ravencroft, a statement which I have to imagine is the title of the next 6-episode Disney Plus show. To aid in their fight against the Electric Menace, Jackpot summons a pink bowling ball that hits Electro in the gut, and then the human fly pops out with some kung fu kicks, followed by Hippo just sitting on Electro with a helpful push from Spidey. As things close up, we get a montage and find out that because the inmates credit Anna with stopping the breakout, the guards let Anna leave Ravencroft early. Sandman is still in treatment, and Electro is on his way to the raft, where he'll definitely never escape. Peter and MJ share another moment, bonding over their camaraderie and perfect partnership before MJ throws cold water all over the prospects of them ever teaming up again. Back at Ravencroft, William is talking with the nurse about Flint not being there anymore, but just before you think he's fully reformed, the nurse is distracted by sand falling out of a flower pot and William disappearing into thin air. She screams for a medic, but William is gone. Turns out that Anna mistakenly took home Flint Marco, disguised as a flower pot, only for him to be reunited with the Sinister Six, Electro 2. As the issue ends, we don't find out why they've reunited, living brain, but Otto promises to explain his plans either in a future issue or off-panel. My guess is that we've got some obscure one-shot that will lay this entire thing out. And folks, I just need to add that Dan had to clean up the ending of this synopsis because I actually didn't quite understand the ending of what happened in this comic, so we will get to that in our review.